Here we come. Sit. She sits at the doorway. She waits while we step through. She's waiting there in a sit stay. She never comes through unless she comes through with us. Okay, she comes through and she's going to see her family for the first time in 3 weeks or 4 weeks. Oh boy, she's really excited. But I'm going to close this door. And this little left turn. And now we're going to launch straight into the greeting routine. And you may notice I have this teeny tiny little prong collar, which is not for corrections, and it's not supposed to cause pain. It's a very high quality German-made prong collar that's blunt, and they're not supposed to cause pain anyway. It's all about closing with the same pressure on the back of the neck as the front, so that all you have to do is these little taps. So it's like power steering on your dog. If you're doing this, because everybody would ask me, and you should know this, so I'm telling you now, if you're restraining her or anything like that, you're going to cause bad behavior. If I'm going to handle her with this, I'm going to, for example, if I wanted to walk her somewhere, she's in a sit stay now, but I'm going to say, okay, and I'm going to turn into her, and I'm just doing these little taps, which is kind of like tapping the brakes. And I'm just going to do another little reset so I can have her sit in the right spot. So she's sitting, stepping away. And then she does this little thing, it's her part of the job, so she can get the good stuff, which is to be allowed to go say hi. That's not allowed. She has to be in a real sit stay. No. And there's no traveling, so she has to really wait in a sit stay. No. Not touch my hand and wait. Nope. Go say hi. And one of the commands, actually the command that I practice the most, is come. And calling her out of something like this it's a great way to practice, because she's not thinking about me at all, right? She's in ecstasy. She's loving everything about it. And I'm going to say, come. Good. And all I had to do that time was one tap, like that. She'd already flipped over, and I tapped once and she came to me. So doing this stuff with you around is already starting to kick in. And once they know how to do these commands, the best way to practice is to practice them in as much of a real life situation as possible. Like this, like even if you just had one time to call her to come during the day, you call her when she's like out of her mind, crazy, playing with the kids in the backyard. Make sure you have a big reward. I'm using these little pieces of chicken breast for her. And it's better than practicing 50 times and just drudgery. Just, you know, putting that impression in her mind once a day that when I hear that, that's when good stuff is waiting. I gotta go. You know, that kind of recall, it'll be input like a reflex. That could save her life someday. Sit. So this time I'm gonna give you guys a little piece of chicken. There you go. And I'm going to see if she can do a little sit stay, which is just basic sit stay where, nope. So if she makes a mistake, see how I said no? Gently but firmly put her back. Nope. And she may not be quite ready to do this, but now that I've started to do this because I thought she could, I can't end on a mistake. So we have to make this work. And if she doesn't get it this way, which she probably will this time, that's not helping, that dog jumping against that gate. But there are little tricks that I would do to make it happen. But I just needed to try it 3 times and she got it. No. No. That's licking your hand and touching your hand, that's not part of it. Part of it is really waiting. No. Okay, so that's a mistake. I'm just going to be a stickler for details, because if I'm really setting the bar high, we're going to get better training. So why not just do that? It's all about these little details. I'm never restraining because she couldn't focus like that. It's always loose. If she gets up, it's a little tap. See how I just tapped and she went back? So it's really about less is more. And now we're working on this part. No. No. Go say hi. So you can see it's how you handle her that matters. And if you're calmer when you handle her, she's going to be calmer. And I'm going to wait till she gets into lovey-dovey mode like that, and then I'm going to practice calling her back to me again. She's so good. She's such a good girl. Come. Good, just the tiniest little tap. Sit, notice how I'm stepping into her. My body does all the work. She comes to me, I step into her. She chooses to flip around and be on this side of me. Nope. Let's do it again. This time, I'm going to try walking around her left side, because it's always the difficult side for them to do, because they're so used to having me on their right side. That's the easy side. So that's why I evenly practice both sides, so that she's also good with distractions on her left side. And I can tell she's getting into the zone and starting to do what she does here without you when you're not here. It's because that was easy. She got it. And then she did her part, so she gets to go over, but she can't touch my hand. Go say hi. Be calm. I don't know if you noticed, but I call her to this closed hand. In an emergency, let's say she runs out the front door or something, or there's a mistake, she gets out the gate, and she's about to cross the street because there's a dog on the other side of the street, or a squirrel or something. No leash, no reward. It's like being a good salesman. Sell it. You got a treat. Hey, come. Good girl. That's why if you don't have a leash and you're practicing this, I want you to hook your left hand under this green collar, because she needs to be used to the way it's going to be in a crisis situation.
Pressure, right? Not a lot.
Or just used to your, because you're going to be doing this. Come. Good. Everything is at the same moment. The good, the treat, and the pet, and this. So she's going to learn to love this feeling. But if you don't do that, if there's no leash, you don't, and I've been grabbing the leash because she has a leash, but if you don't do that with the collar when she's off leash, smart dog like this is going to know, yeah, I'm going to go grab it and run away.
Right.
So always make sure the left hand restrains her.
Right.
That's why we're doing this. It's about safety. It's about it's for her own good. And you desensitize the dog. She's so used to that happening that in a stressful moment, maybe when you are upset and everything falls apart, you don't grab her and she doesn't freak out and bite your arm, because that's such a common thing to happen. Sit. You lead her up to the mat. You have her sit. She's on your left. With your right hand, you're going to pat her chest and say, go to your mat. Walk her over and say, down. That's the kind of down stay that we almost have without the mat. The kind of down where she goes down instantaneously. We're almost there, but I always start with the mat first. Good. And then after a few weeks, I start practicing without the mat, and you have such a solid down stay without the mat because you practice the mat first. The mat is very useful because when you only use it for this specific activity that she's doing, this very specific behavior where what she does is she's allowed on, she stays there, doesn't get up until she's released in a very specific way, and she stays there no matter what you do, no matter where you go. I'm starting with just the walking around her, right? That kind of thing, walking around her both ways. I drop the leash because I'm about to walk farther away. She knows that when I've done something and I come back here, no matter what I've done or how long I've been gone, it always ends this way with me coming back to where I started with the reward. She waits. Good. Until I withdraw, she takes it off the mat. If she's grabbing it out of your hand, or if you're like, good, good. If you're not calm, if you're not very focused, she won't be either. The dog is only as focused as a person doing this. So if you're not in the right frame of mind to do it, just skip a day or do it later or something like that. But we start with easy things like this, and she gets a reward, At first, when I was first teaching her, I had to give her a reward every 20 seconds or else she'd pop up. Now we're like every 2 minutes. Like she could probably stay there for 2 minutes. I'm going to try to do something that I think will make her make a mistake and show you how to fix a mistake. So she might not be good with me going out that gate. And especially with you here, she's like, now's my chance to go and get more loving, right? Well, let's see how she does. And then when she makes a mistake, I'll show you how I get past that and get a success. So I'm going to walk way over here. No. And I walked in a very deliberate way, very quickly away from this so that she would make the mistake. So I said no. Whoops. And I'm putting her back. I already said down one time, so I'm not going to say it again. We want her to know that if she heard down the first time, that means 5 minutes. There's no repeating. She makes a mistake. I use the word no. That's how I use the word. It's not about no or off or leave it. It's about the word that you assign to that situation, because dogs behave situationally. So I'm going to go over there and say down from over there. Down. So opening the gate is going to trigger her. No. And I'm just going to work on getting her to stay down with the opening of the gate, because I think that's all she can do today. And don't worry, this is going to be done by the time you get her. I'm kind of showing you, I'm using this lesson as a way to make her a lot better because of this lesson, but don't worry about it. Like, I'm doing all this stuff for you so you don't have to. I'm going to mark that down. And I'm just going to shoot for her accepting me walking all the way over here. I'm not even going to touch the gate, and all the way back, because we're getting a lot of help from next door and things are going on outside that I didn't expect. And so she's extra. This dog, you can see they're right there doing stuff. This dog gets very easily triggered by noises out on the street. Right. Good. But she normally would be able to do that. We have you here, but also I think it was that triggered her to really not be able to do it. We're going to end on a success, because also the danger of trying to do too much too soon is that she gets stuck in a pattern of mistake after mistake. You never want to end on a mistake. And it's like with all the dogs, they're all different. The goal in this lesson, of course, is that she does things successfully. So I think I'm going to cut my losses and end here, because she's doing pretty well anyway. Yeah. And she'll just get better every day. Good. She's waiting to be released, and this is the only way that she'll get up. So when you start putting her downstays without the mat, just in a real life situation, we're going to set the bar high. We're shooting for the fact that because we practice this way, you can say down, and she's going to wait till you come back in a real life situation. That's what we're practicing for. So we never call her out of downstays or sit stays. She only leaves that downstay or sit stay one way, and that's when you go back to get her. Okay. Sit, and then go. Now she's free. She can go get some attention from you. So we know what she's about to do. Come! And I don't want her to get crazy like I saw before. Yeah. Good.